Do you know that 61% of people that get offers fail to get a higher salary in their new offers? And the reason for this is not because the economy is bad, it's not because the employer is unreasonable, and it's not even because they don't have another offer to leverage on. The reason is because they lost right there and then when they decided to not even try to negotiate. And that's why in this video, I want to kind of share some tips on how to negotiate a new salary. But then, like before that, I want to share 3 consequences of not negotiating, because I think I've seen a lot of people just get an offer and the first thing they are offered is what they accept, right? A lot of people don't even try to negotiate their salaries in their offer, right? So, and I think it's not good enough. So I'm going to be sharing 3 consequences of not trying to negotiate your salaries, right? And I hope this helps a lot. So after sharing 3 consequences, then I will then share my own tips on how to negotiate salary when you get a new offer. So let's get right into that. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hybeecodes, also known as Hybeecodes. I'm a software engineer and also a lover of God. If you are new to this channel, this is a channel where we talk about technology, lifestyle, and faith. So if you are interested, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share the videos, and also drop your comments. Hold on, let me adjust my camera. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. Alright guys, so this video, and I think for a lot of the subsequent videos, will also be I'll do them like in freestyle mode, because I think the paystyle video kind of made sense and I got a lot of feedback saying that the freestyle approach makes a lot of sense. I think I'll be doing that a lot more. Alright, so let's get into today's video. Before we get into the consequences, let me quickly share this. I think the most common reason why people refuse or even don't try to negotiate their salary when they get a new offer is because they believe they don't have any bargaining power, right? For fresh graduates, people that just got into tech, or people that just came out fresh out of a boot camp, they believe they don't have experience, so there's nothing for them to really give out, because okay, that's most probably their first job. And the reason for this is that, like, we always think that I've done too much to lose this particular offer, right? Because I'm trying to ask for too much, right? But let me put it to you this way. A typical interview process takes at least 2 stages, right? I've seen 3 stages interviews, I've seen 4 stages recruitment processes. In fact, personally, I think I've done 6 and a 7-stage recruitment process before. I've done that, I think last year, right, or 2 years ago. I did something similar to that, right? 6 or 7 stages, and I had to go through every single stage, right? Every of this stage, right, the company allocates resources, right, to each of these stages, right? The technical assessment, the case study, I mean, for designers, right, the technical interview, every single thing you are asked to do, the company has to allocate someone or a group of people to oversee it or to coordinate it. Now, what this means is that for companies that even go through like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stages of interview process, right, the company themselves have invested a lot into each candidate, because the 7-stage process, each for each candidate, is not for everybody, right? It's for every single candidate. So if they interview 5 people, right, that means they are doing 7 stages for each of those 5 people. Now, what you will realize is that at the end of the day, even the company themselves, they've invested a lot into that process. Now, what this means, the way I look at it, is that even someone that just came out straight out of school, right, or someone that just finished their boot camp, basically someone that is looking for their first opportunity, right, still have some bargaining power, because the fact that you can go through the process and come out in flying colors or come out at the end means that you have something to offer. And in most cases, companies don't just want to waste the energy they've put into that interview process. And what's even worse is that some people feel like the company is doing them a favor by offering them a job. The company is not doing you a favor. Please just dead that idea, dead that mindset. The company is not doing you a favor. A company is not set up to favor anybody. A company is a business, right? They give out services and they get in money in return. And the reason why they recruit people is those people have value to give, and the company is going to pay them in return. So if you've gotten an offer, just have that mindset that yes, I have earned my place. So don't have that mindset that, oh, they are doing me a favor. Nobody is doing you any favor. So I just said I should clear that mindset just in case you have that mindset. Now we can get into the 3 consequences of not negotiating. So the first consequence of not negotiating your salary at all is compounding returns, right? Compounding returns, and this basically means that you will lose out financially. Now wait, let me explain myself. Now imagine there are 2 people, right? Let's say those 2 people are mid-level engineers. Now the company offers them, both of them, right? The company gave them an offer, right, and give them an offer of 200,000 naira per month. Now let's say there's candidate A and then there's candidate B. Now candidate A refused to negotiate because he feels that 200k is enough, or he feels that he doesn't want to overcharge. Now candidate B decided to take a leap of faith and then requested for an increase in the salary that was stipulated in the offer. Now eventually candidate B got, let's say, 220 or even 230,000 naira per month, and then candidate A still earns 200,000 naira per month. Now right now it might seem as if the difference between their salaries is just 30,000 naira, but let me explain something to you about salaries. Now one thing I know about salaries is salaries increase in percentages. So usually when they increase someone's salary, right, they will either increase that salary by say 10%, 5%, 2%, whatever percentage they want to increase it by. And now let's say candidate B and candidate A spends 10 years in that company, or let's say they even spend 5 years. If they increase each of their salaries 5% every year, right, what you will realize is that at the end of the 5th year, candidate B is already earning a lot more, and that's not just 30,000 naira, more than candidate A, right? And if you are candidate A in that kind of situation and you get to know that, oh, this is how much candidate B is earning, you won't really feel good. And this happened because candidate A did not even try to negotiate that salary at all. I hope this makes sense. So the second consequence is you lose out on things that the employer can actually say yes to, right? I always say that when it comes to salary negotiation, or when it comes to contracts and offers, the first offer you are given is not usually the best, right? I always say this over and over again when I'm advising people. So it is not advisable to even accept the first offer you are given without even questioning, without trying to negotiate, because companies will first see, they will try to get you to give much for as low as possible. So when they give you an offer, there is a high chance that, okay, that offer you are getting is not the best you can get, and you decided to not even try to negotiate that salary, right? You are most probably missing out on a lot of things that you could have actually gotten. And then the last consequence of not trying to negotiate your salary, right, is that you lose the opportunity to make a strong impression, right? So negotiation is a life skill that benefits you not only professionally but also personally. And the thing is that one of the things that companies are looking out for is someone with initiative, someone that knows their worth, right? If they send you as a representative of the company, right, would you just go out there and get the first offer that they throw at the company? Some of these things can be seen even through the interview process. And I also think that if you try to negotiate, even just attempt to negotiate, it makes you a little bit more attractive to the employer. And the reason for this is that, like, at that point in time, they would know that, okay, this guy actually knows his worth. He's not just taking the first thing that comes around, right? And also, like, it's, if you don't try to negotiate, right, when you are giving the first salary, it gives that feeling of desperation, right? It gives that feeling of desperation. And actually, the company might actually feel like you are not planning to stay there for a long time. Regardless, negotiating your salary, you cannot lose anyways. The worst thing that can happen is that the company will say no. People actually feel like, okay, if I try to negotiate and it doesn't work out, I might lose. No, you don't lose an offer because you try to negotiate. So don't have that mindset. The worst thing that can happen is that the company insists on the initial offer they've given you, right? And that's what you will take, right? You don't get to lose that offer if you are the kind of person that never wants to negotiate, right? after listening to these consequences, I hope you are now willing to actually give negotiation a shot. Now, let's dive into how you can actually do that, the tips that can help you to negotiate well. Now, the first tip I want to share is imagine you are actually negotiating for a friend. Yes, I know this is a weird tip, right? But I've realized that people don't people find it difficult to feel good about themselves, right? People find it difficult to say that, oh, I actually deserve this, right? So imagine you have a friend that has gone through an interview process. This friend has set aside a lot of things for months trying to prepare for this interview. This friend has had sleepless nights. This friend has read, this friend has watched tutorials, been through a lot to be able to pass all these interviews. Don't you think your friend deserves the best possible deal they can get, and not just the first one that was tossed on the table? So I think that this subtle change in mindset can actually help, right? No matter how little, when it comes to negotiation. Now, the second tip is research market rates. Now, when I say rates, I don't mean Forex, so I don't mean how much USD is or how much Bitcoin is. What I mean is that before you start negotiation, right, have a good idea of how much you are actually expecting. Have a good idea of how much people at your level, right, in your location are being paid, right? Because in fact, that's a good place to start. I've seen people get into negotiations and they don't even know what they want, right? You get into a negotiation and they are offering you 200,000 naira for a mid-level engineering position, and you are jumping up. You don't know that they don't pay mid-level engineers 200,000 naira, right? So it's good to have an idea of, okay, this is how much they pay mid-level engineers in my location. And you can use websites like levels.fyi or maybe Glassdoor to be able to get this information. And for companies that you can't find on levels.fyi or Glassdoor, you can reach out to someone in that company to get a good idea of, okay, what the salary ranges is, right? So yes, make sure you have your information right. Make sure you research how much they pay people in your role at your proficiency level before you get into negotiation. All right, so the next tip I want to share is have a worst case scenario, sort of like a walk away point, right? And what this means is that now that, okay, you know how much they are paying people at your level, right, and people that do what you do, right, how much is the least you can accommodate? Now, this would now be dependent on your financial situation, your financial goal. What are you trying to achieve financially, right? How much expenses do you have? Because you really don't want to get an offer or collect a job that is not going to make you financially viable. You don't want to get a job that you will now start struggling, because if you don't define what you don't want, you will eventually be given that thing that you don't want, right? I hope this makes sense. And then the first tip I want to share is come to the table of negotiation with facts. I mean facts, not feelings. Facts, not feelings. And what this basically means is that, see, if you are requesting for more money, right, you should provide justification for your request, right? You can't tell a company that they should give you more and they can't see why, or they can't see a reason for giving you more, right? And depending on your situation, in your case, it could be because you have more years of experience, right? In your case, it could be because you actually absolutely aced every single interview stage. Actually, I have used that as a leverage before, right? Because I knew that, okay, I passed this interview, like, right, every single stage, I aced it. So I used that as a leverage when I was negotiating my salary, that, see, I know I passed these interviews and I know you actually want me, right? So try to gather a list of things that makes you stand out. Try to gather things that make you valuable. Try to make a list of the value that you bring to the company, because these things will come in handy during negotiation. So like I said, come with facts, not feelings. Don't just feel like, oh, I feel you should give me 5% raise. Oh, I feel like this 200,000 naira will not be enough, considering the economic situation of the country, give me 300,000 naira. No, come with facts, come with things that you can do for the company, right? Like I said, for some of us, we can show this through the interview process, right? We can show how much value we bring. For some of us, it is the experience that we've had. So document these things and use them as leverage during your negotiations. So the last thing I want to share is like a bonus tip, and this is it. All your worth is not tied to your current salary, or better still, your value or your worth. I don't think it's fair to determine your value based on your current place of work, because now what this means is that if you are, say, a senior engineer, for instance, and you are earning 500,000 at your current company, honestly, that doesn't mean that your worth is now 500,000 naira, right? Because that mindset, that thing messes up with people's head, right? They say that, okay, this is how much I'm earning right now. So when I'm getting a new job, I'm just trying to look for an offer that pays me more than what I'm currently earning. I don't think that is entirely true, and I don't think it's the best, right? Measure your worth based on facts. Like I said, measure your worth based on the market rate, not what you are being paid currently. So if you are a senior engineer, for instance, and you are being paid 500,000 naira currently, right? Because see, I understand that some of us will actually have to like get some certain kinds of jobs before we actually eventually get a job that pays us like as much as we actually deserve to be paid, right? So if you're a senior engineer and you are being paid 500,000 naira, for instance, but actually the market rate, the market value for a senior engineer, depending on your years of experience and your proficiency, let's say is at least 800,000 naira, or let's say 1 million naira. So if you are looking for a job, don't be looking for a job that pays you 600,000 naira or 700,000 naira. Don't settle, because this mindset would help you push the limit of the offer you are being given. Because now, if you feel like, okay, all I need is just to get a job that pays me more than 500,000 naira. So when you get an offer and they offer you 500,000 naira, right, you will probably now ask for, okay, I'm earning 500,000 naira right now, so just pay me 600,000 naira. Meanwhile, you could actually have asked for 800 or maybe 900 or maybe 1 million naira. So it's a mindset, right? It's just a psychological thing. If you have that mindset right now, fix that mindset. Your worth is not tied to what you are earning right now. If you're a software engineer, you should request for the salary they pay software engineers depending on your proficiency level and your location. Alright, so that will be all, guys. Let me know in the comment section if these tips are helpful, and also please feel free to drop more tips for people as the case may be, right? If maybe there's something I did not mention or something that you feel would benefit other people, please feel free to drop a comment and share with all of us so that we can all learn. And please like this video. Please like this video. I'm going to be hammering on this like this video thing, right, at least for some time. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can also turn on the notification bell so that you know when I drop a new video. Drop your comments and also share with your friends. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, keep believing, keep growing, and keep glowing. Peace.